Hello, everyone. Welcome to WLG Sports Talk. Today, I'm here with Will, Luke, and myself, Gage. And today, we're going to be talking about a couple interesting topics. And we're going to get started with Aaron Rodgers because we want to talk about that and get your thoughts. So, Will, I want to hear your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and that whole situation.
So, I understand with the whole vaccine thing. I haven't really looked too far into it. A lot of people have been saying he was lying about his vaccine status.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, then I guess that's wrong. I'm a believer that you should have a choice whether you get the vaccine or not. And that should be his choice. It shouldn't really matter whether he gets it or not. Obviously, if he doesn't get it, he's going to be more exposed to it, I guess. But I guess the problem is where, if you lied to them about getting it and then you don't get it, I guess that can be an issue. But I did see a thing where he said about, people on the right are going to support him and people on the left are going to hate him. But he doesn't want this to get political because he's not going to go on any news stations or anything. So, I don't know. I think obviously it hurts his team because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But in the end, you took Love in the first round. Now it's time to really see what he can do for a week.
Yeah. I look at it like this. I don't think he technically lied at all. I think because he never claimed he was vaccinated. If you look, he said, I'm immunized. So he did different techniques and stuff, different things to, combat COVID. He actually said he's allergic to something in the vaccines, which is why he did not get it. But he never lied and said he was vaccinated when he wasn't. But when he said I'm immunized, it means he's immunized in other ways, like not necessarily vaccine immunization.
Yeah, an immunization is like when you get COVID for 3 or 4 months afterwards, you build up that immunity for that short period of time.
Right.
That he could have been referring to that. So I didn't know that he said he was immunized. Like I said, I would have to look into it more, but the media really, they came out as calling him a liar and stuff. But I personally think it's a big deal, but sorry to cut you off.
No, not a bit. Yeah, I agree. It's not that big a deal. He's out for 10 days because he's not vaccinated. Protocols,
Yeah.
We'll see what Jordan Love can do. Jordan Love seems pretty decent.
Well, you took him in the first round, so he better be pretty decent. That's the kind of pick that can set your franchise back years.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, Luke, what do you think?
Well, basically, with him, he said he was whatever. He got something in him. He didn't say he got the COVID vaccine, but he said he got something in him. And if he is allergic to a chemical in there, you obviously can't let him do that. But I think this is a bit of a blessing in disguise for the Packers. Sure, you might be playing a week or two without Aaron Rodgers. However, you finally get to see, what you spent your first round pick on. If Jordan Love comes and balls out in these next 2 weeks, you're going to have a decision to make. You want to keep Aaron Rodgers around or you want to go with your future? And if he comes and does not ball out and plays terrible, then you got to say, oh, crap. We might not have made the right choice. We got to lean on Aaron for a little bit longer. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise for the Packers. They're playing well. If they lose a game, it's not going to be the end of the season for them. And they finally get to see what they have. So I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Jordan Love can do. And it'd be cool, honestly, if he does do good, because I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers play on another team.
I've talked to a lot of Packers fans about this. And they've all kind of said the same thing, that they are excited to see what Jordan Love can bring to their offense, because some people think Aaron Rodgers is gone after this year. So it is. It's going to be a good little taste for the Packers to see what they really have in Jordan Love.
Yeah. A good test too. They play it's a big matchup this week. Isn't it the
Chiefs?
Chiefs? Yeah, that's a big matchup.
Kind of.
Man, if Daniel Jones can keep the Giants in contention, I would think Jordan Love can, but you haven't really seen him, so.
Well, Daniel
only
Jones
ever
is
seen
a
him in
special
garbage
kind
time.
of quarterback.
Okay. We'll move into Henry Ruggs before you get into your little Giants obsession.
Henry Ruggs is a very interesting topic.
What do you think of the Henry Ruggs situation?
You talking to me, Will?
I'm talking to you.
Well, I'll tell you what I think of the Henry Ruggs situation. Right at the very beginning when he got drafted, a lot of people right away thought it was a mistake because CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy are arguably better. So right there, it's like, it started off a little like, man, is this guy going to be good? And then this happens. Honestly, he didn't do much for the Raiders. I don't think, at least not what a first round receiver should be doing. But anyway, 156 miles per hour he was going in his Corvette. That's what the top speed they topped him at. His blood alcohol content was over double the legal limit. Hits a car. I saw a video. The car was at an absolute flames, and he was sitting there crying. And I can see, like, I'm not going to necessarily go and say I feel bad for him, but I understand, like, that would be awful. Like, but again, he made the choice to drive, and I just don't get it because, he's making good money. He could have hired anybody to drive him. I don't know. It was
the
dumb.
The NFL actually has a program that you can get free rides whenever you need one. So he wouldn't even have to have paid anything.
I know, like, I cannot believe this happened. This is so mind-blowing. It's just immaturity. It's terrible. And he killed someone, and I don't think he should ever play again. Yeah. I think he should probably go to jail.
Well, he will.
Well, he's looking at 40 years, but that's the maximum. And after
he won't get that.
Get a jury of his peers in there, he'll probably get a third of that.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you just said. And the one thing that always like blows my mind in a situation like this is like the people who say, well, you have to look at like the other people who are grieving. Like they say, well, Henry Ruggs shouldn't grab all the headlines. The girl and her dog should be involved in that too. And obviously, yeah, they will be missed. His life isn't valued more than theirs, or all lives are valued equally.
Yeah.
But still, like, I get it. Many newspapers have tried to cover her story. Like, she was working towards getting her citizenship. Like, she was a month away from taking the citizenship test, and she immigrated over here with her family, and they're poor and whatever. But I mean, still, like, the thing that like shocks me is like people are attacking like Ruggs for like the wrong reasons. Like, obviously his name shouldn't be in the headlines, but it's like with the Kobe situation. Kobe and his daughter carried all the headlines, but it's like those are the recognizable names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like the argument that's like, well, you have to try to cover these people too. Like, yeah, that's understandable. Like, yeah, they should, have their time and like for being remembered and recognized, but like we can relate more to Henry Ruggs than we can to the young lady who passed away. So I mean, I don't know, it's a bad situation. Like you said, he should never play football again. But man, it's really sad. I mean, for everybody involved. I mean, I know a lot of people won't say it's sad for Ruggs, but I mean, he threw his career away.
Yeah,
you watch that video, he's on the ground crying and that woman's with him. And I guess
knew
that
it
was
was
his
over.
mother.
No, it's his girlfriend.
That was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and then she was like, it's gonna be okay and whatever. But then you listen to the people in the background, they're like, that's the monster who caused this. But like, I don't know, like all the stuff that's been coming out has just been awful. And you pray for everyone involved because all their lives are changing dramatically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this is an interesting topic. I could definitely talk about this for hours because I've read and I've watched a lot about this. I do say this. I do feel bad for Henry Ruggs. I really do. Because he's having a much better year this year than he was last year. I've watched guys like Derek Carr and Tua Tagovailoa come out and say, he's one of the nicest guys I ever met. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a good guy. Clearly, his intentions that night was not to kill somebody. Obviously.
Yeah, right.
Did he make a bad decision? Yes. But has everybody in their life made a bad decision? Yes. However, some decisions, are weighted more, like this. And when you're a pro athlete like this, clearly you're not going to get out of it because everybody knows who you are. So I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him because one, sure, yeah, he ended 2 lives that night, the lady and her dog, but technically he really ended 3. I mean, his life's never going to be the same. I agree. He should never play football ever again, which is a shame. But, it sucks because that's obviously not the person he is. He's not a criminal. He's not a bad person, but now he'll always be viewed that way. He's just made a humongous mistake that you cannot make, especially in the situation you're in. And, it's going to basically more or less cost him his life to an extent. I'm sure he'll go to jail. However, I'm sure somehow, because he's got money, he's in the NFL, all athletes do this. He won't be in there for 15, 20 years. It's just not going to happen. No. He should, because any of us, if we did that, we would be, but he won't be. However, I really pray that nobody lets him play in the NFL again as a punishment. I know that's not what he wants to hear, and it's not what anyone wants to hear, but it's the reality of it. So, yeah, like I feel for him in that sense. I don't feel bad for him per se. I'm disappointed for him because he was on, his mark to have a pretty good season this year. He was playing pretty well. And then this happens. And clearly when you watch that video, you can tell he knew in his reaction that like, oh my God, like I messed up everything. I messed up my life. And it sucks because you don't want to see that happen to anybody. But unfortunately, his mistake is a lot more severe than most people's mistakes. And, he's got to pay the consequences. That's what you got to do.
I agree. Everyone should know he's not I don't think he's a bad guy at all. I don't think he had any intent to do anything bad. It's just, like you said, one of those unfortunate situations where he made a massive, massive mistake that was easily avoidable. And I know what you're saying. Like, I can see why people could kind of sympathize with him because, like, he threw his whole career away, and that's simple. It's an absolute tragedy. That is terrible what happened. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, another thing that I, think about is like this obviously should be a wake-up call to any college athlete going into a professional sport. Like they should, be made well aware of this situation. And it also should be like made aware to the public, like, any like professional athlete, they make millions of dollars and whatever, and their life's on magnitude. But like, I know a lot of people are saying like, oh my God, I would never, if I got a DUI, I would never, be going, 156 miles an hour down a freeway. But it's like also most people within like obviously don't have access to a Corvette that is capable of doing 150 plus. So, I mean, also, you have to watch your judgment just because like the stuff he had access to, is a blessing. Like hell, everybody would love to have a Corvette, but it also shows how much more added responsibility. And it really should be a wake-up call to a lot of athletes who are looking to go professional. Just like, you have to be more aware and make better decisions. But I don't know. For people to judge him, I mean, it's a terrible situation. I just don't think you should be resulting to, judgment. Like Luke said, everybody makes a mistake. And a lot of their vehicles, don't have capabilities of going 156 miles an hour. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to offend him or anything, but it's like you have to be mindful of like the situation, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess we can move on. What do you say we talk about something a little more positive? Like Odell Beckham.
Another career dying.
Aren't you the guy that said he was a shell of himself in Cleveland?
Yeah, I did, and I can tell you why. You want me to tell you why?
Oh, well, I don't necessarily want you to, but I know you're going to. So go ahead.
All right. So, look, Odell Beckham Jr. is my favorite wide receiver ever. Ever. He's my favorite wide receiver I've ever watched.
Even in the AFC?
No, ever. Like, I love this guy. He is my favorite wide receiver. I can't think of anybody I like more at wide receiver. Anyway, he was on New York and he was an absolute monster. He was so good. The breakaway speed, that man could take a slant route and turn it into a touchdown, and that catch and just how athletic he is. He's amazing. Look, he was explosive 3 years in a row with 1,300 plus yards, receiving yards. Then he goes to Cleveland. I guess his last 2 years in New York they were good, but they weren't like amazing like his first three. But then he goes to Cleveland, and the injuries, they really hurt him. Baker Mayfield never developed a chemistry with him. And Beckham has some issues, just personal issues, like where he gets frustrated. And we saw him in New York on the Josh Allen fight when they were playing Carolina. We saw him punch a field goal, kicking net. So like he's tough. Because he can be a little, I don't know, just a little unhinged. But Baker Mayfield is the problem, I think. Look, if you have a guy like Odell Beckham, who's one of the best playmakers of the decade, and you do not find ways to get the ball in his hands, there is a major, major problem. And I think him leaving is the best thing that could have happened to him, because he's going to go somewhere that is much better. He's going to go somewhere that they're going to say, look, we know what we got with Odell Beckham Jr. We are going to make some plays to get him the ball, because if you get him the ball, good things are going to happen. I don't understand what the Browns were thinking. It made no sense to me. I'd watch the Browns and I'd be thinking, what is wrong with you? Why are you targeting this man 3 times or less in a game? Like, it makes no sense. And hey, they wonder why they can't win this year. I'm glad he's gone. I hope he goes to my top 3 teams. I would like him to go to either Green Bay. I would like him to go to Seattle or the Ravens. Those would be my top choices for him.
I have an interesting take on that. So what I gained from what you just told me about Odell Beckham, I mean, you're a Giants fan. You obviously have followed his career real closely. And obviously his shenanigans he did in New York with the whole, Josh Norman incident and the kicking net and taking his teammates down to Miami before a playoff game, and all of his shenanigans, and even the stuff he did overseas with that young lady over there in whatever country that was. New Zealand, was it?
Well, listen.
The woman accused him of doing some pretty vulgar stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But what I gather from all of that is, Odell Beckham, he's a diva. I mean, I think you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I think that Odell Beckham, like you said, obviously he's a once in a generation type talent. He has some of the best hands in the NFL. And he needs to go somewhere where he'll be I think he needs to go somewhere where he's going to get targeted, obviously. Needs to be the number one of a team, but will also be in a smaller market, so there's not so much of a limelight on him. So the top three teams I would like to see Odell Beckham in, and I think he would thrive. And, they're talented. Obviously, Baltimore really sticks out.
Yeah.
Another one that sticks out to me is Indy. I think him and Carson Wentz, that hookup could be pretty electric. And he could be their bona fide number one. I mean, I like Pittman a lot, but I'm not fully sold on Michael Pittman. And then a third team that I think he would do really well in. I mean, I don't know, with a smaller market. I don't know, Philly. I think he'd be a hell of a talent in Philadelphia.
Really?
So I think Baltimore, Indy, or Philly, I think those are the three teams he would need to go to.
Oh, my God.
Interesting.
Because he's going to get targeted the most there. I think all three of those cities kind of have a capable quarterback who can get him the ball. I mean, Hurts really has nothing to throw to. I mean, Rager is trash. Devontae Smith he's a rookie. Quez Watkins isn't too bad. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, Indy, he's the number one in Indy, and Baltimore, he's the number one there. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't
What
know
about the Niners?
Deebo Samuel's pretty damn good, though.
He's no Odell.
He's better.
Oh my God. Yeah, this year. Yeah, he is this year.
The NFL is a what are you doing now type of league, Gage.
Yeah, well, when you have a horrible quarterback like Baker Mayfield, it's kind of hard.
He's very average. I think his best comparison is Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, they're both garbage. That is a good comparison.
I think he's a worse Jared Goff.
You definitely. That's a good.
I don't think
comparison.
Jared Goff's all that good. That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my point.
What do you think, Luke, about Odell?
All right. Well, personally, I've never liked him. I thought he's known for making one catch, and after that, just being, decent. He's not bad. He's not a bad receiver. He's decent. He's always been decent. However, I think he is way too much of a drama queen to keep on a team, especially a winning team. There's a reason that the teams that he's always been on have never won.
Yeah.
He's not a good locker room guy. Me personally, as a Steelers fan, if I saw, hey, the Steelers are interested in OBJ, I would not be for it by any means. We do not need that type of drama in our locker room at all. So I would not be a fan of that. Do I think Baker Mayfield's part of the problem? Yeah, he is, because he's just Baker Mayfield. I mean, is OBJ open? Can he get passes on Cleveland? Yeah, probably. But that's kind of what you expect when you play for a team that has a quarterback as like Baker Mayfield. Look at Jarvis Landry. Dude was great in Miami. Ever since he's been to Cleveland, he's just been he's just kind of been there. Like, he hasn't been anything great. He's okay. He's not great. But I understand why he got released. I'm kind of glad the Browns did it, because it shows that they're not like the Sixers of the NFL letting a player dictate whatever they do. I hate to say it, and it's not going to happen, by the way. What I'm about to say, it's not going to happen. There's zero chance of it happening. But OBJ has always had like a weird man crush on Tom Brady. Could you just imagine him going to Tampa Bay? Like I said, it won't happen because he won't get any targets. He'd be the fourth best receiver on the roster. He wouldn't get targets, and he'd be grumpy and mad. So it's not going to happen. I'm just saying, like, would I be super shocked that it would happen? No, because he always posts stuff and says stuff about Tom Brady. So I think that'd be something weird to keep an eye on. 3 places that I can see him going: New Orleans, with no Michael Thomas coming back. They need somebody if they're going to win, and he's the best available. So, and he's going to get the ball thrown to him probably. So I could see New Orleans being a fit. The Raiders I could see being a fit, because kind of something we just touched on. They sort of need a receiver. Derek Carr will get him the ball for sure. And yeah, I think he'd be a good fit in Oakland. The third team I'm saying might be a bit of a reach. I'm just, kind of thinking this is kind of who he is. So he might want to play there, and that's Kansas City.
Ooh.
Because to be honest with you, outside of Tyreek Hill, none of those guys have really impressed me. And Tyreek Hill hasn't even been amazing. He's been okay. So if you give Patty Mahomes another weapon like OBJ, I think that would put them back into, where they want to be, which is, winning the Super Bowl every year after the amount of money you paid Mahomes. The Packers, I'm not sure because Aaron Rodgers loves Devontae Adams. And, Alan Lazard's been pretty good. So I'm not so sure the Packers is a great fit for him. So I'm going Oakland, New Orleans, and Kansas City.
I actually think I forgot about New Orleans. I think that might be the best place he could go.
It could.
Because you're right. With Michael Thomas, he's done for the year. Yeah, they don't have like any receiver that makes me think that they're a real contender.
No, they don't.
Man, I would love that. I hope he does go there.
One thing you have to keep in mind is, does he go there to play with Trevor Siemian, though?
That's exactly.
Oh.
That's exactly.
True. Oh. Yeah, what was it? Oh, Oakland. That'd be cool. Derek Carr him and Derek Carr would be good.
Yeah.
Another thing there makes me wonder, do the Raiders do that with, the whole AB thing? I mean, they got burned on trying to bring a drama queen in before. So, I mean, does Mark Davis want to do that? And already in the drama-filled year that the Raiders have had.
Yeah, that maybe. Yeah, that is true. I don't know.
I just think that the Raiders are actually competing. And for them to really get over the top, they need another piece. So that he could be the piece.
Yes, that is a good point.
I don't know. I still think him and Indy would be a hell of a success.
Well, Indy, I don't know. It all depends on I don't know what the waiver orders are. I don't know who has first dibs, but I'm assuming he's going to go relatively fast to whoever can get him first because he's that good that he is, no one's going to pass on him, I don't think. Not many, at least.
No.
But could you imagine the like, he's not going to get targeted in Dallas, but he loves playing in Dallas.
Yeah, he does do good against him. He destroys them.
I don't think that would be a good fit at all.
No. But I mean, if you just added Odell as your third wide receiver, I mean, obviously, at this point, he's probably their number 3.
I don't know. I mean, I'd take him over CD and Amari Cooper, but that's just me.
That's crazy.
Hey, Will, that picture there, I see a championship, a really good team there. What's that all about?
Well, if you haven't heard it over the last week, the Atlanta Braves defeated the Houston Astros in the 2021 World Series. And Jorge Soler won the MVP. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that is the greatest thing in sports of 2021. That is amazing. The Braves deserved this 100%. Their moves at the trade deadline, I look at it like you look at how they got over the hump. Those guys they got at the trade deadline, Soler, Rosario, Duvall, those were the guys that made it possible for that. Even Jock Peterson, all those guys were the people that made the Braves be able to go over the top and win this. It's just so crazy. Like, I can't even believe that they did this. And like Freddie Freeman, he was good, but you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like amazing. Like, they didn't need him to be great to do this. It's just so crazy. They deserved it. The Astros, I don't really like them. I know Will wanted them to win, but what do you do? I was so happy about the Braves.
I kind of flipped on the Astros. The more I sat back and thought about it, I couldn't stomach myself seeing them win just because of the fact that they cheated. And that's a loss for baseball. As much as I hate the Braves, I cannot stand the Braves. But I'm happy for them because it makes the NL East look a little bit better.
Wow.
Because, I mean, it shows that if, let's say, the outcome at the end of September was when Philly went down there to Atlanta, who knows, maybe the Phillies would have ended up winning the World Series.
There's
maybe
no
the
way.
Phillies are a little bit better than what you thought they were.
That's funny. All I know is the Braves proved that they are going to dominate the NL East for a long time. The Phillies are going to struggle.
You say
winning that
the
division.
Braves are going to have a dynasty, right?
They will. They will.
You don't know,
If
since
they hold
the
on.
90s, a team's won back-to-back World Series. So, I mean,
I can see it. If they hold on to people, they need to hold on to these guys. But I can see it, man. Like, they have heart. They play with heart. You can tell. They love it. They're not like
we thought about all this news stuff and we completely forgot about Buster Posey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, whenever I think of that, him retiring, all I think of is Yadier Molina as a better catcher all time. That's just that's immediately comes to my mind. What do you think?
You know what I think? Obviously, Yachty had a better career, okay?
It's
but
not
I
even
seen a
close.
stat today that was pretty impressive. Buster Posey caught over like 1,200 games. In those 1,200 games, the guy only had 23 pass balls.
That's insane.
That is pretty impressive.
That is very impressive.
You can make an argument he may be the best blocking catcher of all time.
How old is he? Like, is he only like 35 or something?
Yeah, he's in his mid-30s.
See, I think this is too early to retire.
I mean, when you play catcher, your body breaks down a lot faster. So, I mean,
yeah, it definitely puts a lot of wear on your body.
But he could have moved to first base or universal DH if that comes to the NL.
Yeah. I guess that just speaks to how great Yachty is. Like, that he is. Look, as soon as I saw it said Buster Posey retiring. The first thing I thought, I didn't even think like, oh, great career. I thought, oh, Yachty's better. That's exactly what I thought right away.
Well, that's not what I thought. I thought, wow, Buster Posey had a hell of a career, and he's probably a Hall of Famer. I don't like to when I see a player retire, I don't like to be like, oh, Drew Brees just retired. Tom Brady had a much better career. Like, no, like that's taking away from the greatness of that player.
You're right, but there was a huge debate, Yachty or Buster, and Yachty's better. That's debate over. I don't think it's a debate anymore.
I mean, I think you're really the only person I've ever heard really make that debate lately. But you're also a Cardinals fan, so you have the bias towards that.
But it's over. The debate's over. So, but yeah, he did have a great career. He probably is a Hall of Famer.
Good for Acuna. Luke? He got himself a World Series title.
That is nice, isn't it?
I'm glad. I'm extremely happy. I hate everything about the Astros. Everything, everybody there, every fan. I hate the Astros. Everything about them. If you're affiliated with them, I hate you. But yeah, the Braves are just a very likable team. Like, I've never met anyone that says, "Man, I hate Freddie Freeman." Like, you can't say that. He deserves a ring. Dude's been through a lot. Who's batting under 200 in Kansas City. If you would have told me 5 months ago Jorge Soler is winning a World Series MVP, I probably would just never talk to you again. And it happened.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, baseball is a very unpredictable game. You never know what's going to happen. And this year, like, they wouldn't have picked the Braves to win the World Series, but they did it. And they did it without a lot of guys. Ozuna, Acuna, Soroka. Then they lost Charlie Morton, game 1. Like, they battled a lot, and it's awesome to see. It really is. Like, and I watched the parade yesterday, and like a lot of those dudes, they're just like cool dudes having fun. Like Austin Riley's only 24, and he's in the race for the NL MVP. And 2 years ago, he wasn't even that good. So like, it's awesome to see how they grow. It's really cool.
I agree.
You know who's the
It was
most
great.
disappointing guy though for me from the Braves run throughout the playoffs?
Ozzy Albies.
Ozzy Albies. That guy was trash in the playoffs.
He wasn't trash.
He batted 167 in the World Series.
He stole a base and got us a taco.
Yeah, Willie, he should have won MVP.
Did you cash in that taco?
No, but he still won America a taco.
Oh.
America, the Brave. It's probably Ozzy Albies.
That enough said, Will. He's won America a taco. That enough said.
Eddie Rosario had a hell of a postseason.
Oh, I know.
Go ahead home runs though. How incredible is that?
He's freaking amazing.
For bombs.
He is a beast.
But as we end on the championship,
Do you think that out of Rosario, Peterson, and Soler, they're all free agents? Do you think Atlanta brings any of them back?
Eddie.
I honestly don't.
No?
Duvall, did you say Duvall?
I don't
think
know
they
if
bring
Duvall's
back
a free
Rosario.
agent.
Duvall is a free agent.
All right, so then, yeah, so maybe Jock is not a free agent because there's 3 guys that are free agents.
Jock opted out.
Yeah, so I think either Eddie or Duvall they bring back, and the other ones walk.
I think Duvall walks. I think Rosario stays, and I think Soler. I think the rest of them walk.
I would agree.
Hey, what about Freddie Freeman? Is he a free agent?
He is.
He is, but he's not going anywhere.
If he
I
does,
hope
he'll
not.
go to New York.
I
You're
want
right.
him to
The Mets
stay.
could use a first baseman.
He's not. No, they have Pistol Pete.
I'm not a big fan of Alonso.
Me neither, but the Mets are.
Hey, look, Freddie Freeman needs to retire a Brave because, like, when I don't know, he seems like the guy that's like he's like a franchise man. Like he is a Braves icon.
He will. He'll definitely stay in Atlanta.
That's good. Thank goodness.
You're a funny guy, Gage.
What would Atlanta be without Freddie?
Not a lot.
They'd still have Acuna,
Yeah.
who's better than Harper, but we'll save that.
As we move away from
It's not even close.
Atlanta Braves, we'll look into fantasy football. Start 'em, sit 'em.
Oh boy.
We can go by position.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
For this week, who's your start 'em at quarterback and who's your sit 'em?
All right. So I'm going to give you my stardom for quarterback. It's going to be kind of interesting because I don't think a lot of people are going to be like real hyped about this, but I think Ryan Tannehill is a stardom this week because I just think without Derrick Henry, I don't think they can rely on their run game anymore. That's not going to be their identity anymore because I don't know, Jeremy Mcnichols and then Adrian Peterson, who is 36 years old. That is very old for a running back.
I don't think he gets a snap.
I would be shocked. I mean, I can see maybe if they're inside the 5, like maybe. I don't know. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have to put the ball in his hands and get it to Julio, who I believe is going to be playing this week. Get it to AJ Brown, Anthony Ferkser, all those guys. I think he's my stardom. I think he'll have a good day. My sit-em for the week is kind of crazy, but my sit-em for the week is Patrick Mahomes. I can't believe I'm saying it because I have been majorly impressed this year with Green Bay's defense, which is why they have won every game since that blunder in week 1 where they got absolutely fried by the Saints. But their defense has really, really impressed me since then. I think it's championship type of defense. It's not like amazing defense, but like it's good enough that they can win a championship. I think Mahomes has a rough day, throws a couple picks. He has not been impressive this year to me. He's my sit-em.
Interesting.
Okay.
My stardom for the week is Josh Allen.
Ooh.
He's playing Jacksonville. According to ESPN, he's projected 30 points, and you can't always go off projections if you do. If you went on projections, I would win every single week in this league because I'm always projected to outscore my opponents. My team, I'm having a miserable season. But Josh Allen playing Jacksonville is coming off in his last 4 games, 23 is what actually in his last 5 games, 23 is the lowest amount of points he's scored. He's had 45, 23, 44, 32, and 34. And with Jacksonville, to me, Josh Allen is the start of the week. And the sit of the week for me, I'm going to have to go with, I hate to say it, but Matt Ryan.
Oh.
Playing New Orleans, he doesn't have much to throw to. If I'm sitting a quarterback this week, it's going to be Matt Ryan.
That makes sense. They lost Calvin Ridley, so.
Alrighty. So for me, for the stardom, I'm going to say this now. If we would have done this episode before Thursday Night Football, my stardom would have been Carson Wentz. He's been playing pretty good, and he was playing against the Jets defense. Yeah. And let me tell you what, he did do pretty good. So he would have been my original stardom. Obviously, I'm not going to pick him now because that's stupid. But I'm going to go with Justin Herbert as a starter, as the stardom this week. He's playing against Philly. Not a big fan of Philly. I think he's been kind of not bad, but not great the last 2 weeks. And I think he's going to bounce back and have a pretty decent game. Again, I'm not a big fan of Philly. I don't think their defense is that great. I think he's going to do pretty well. Now, my sit-em was an easy one. And let me make this clear. I'm not doing this because somebody in this group might have a man crush on one of these players. It's just simple. Daniel Jones is a sit-em this week.
Oh.
And Daniel Jones is playing against Vegas this week. I like their defense. Max Crosby's going to get to him. Probably going to fumble the ball a couple times. I just don't see him having a positive game at all. And a backup option for stardom is Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was doing pretty good before he got hurt. He's back, and he's playing against Miami. So if you do have Tyrod Taylor in the league for some weird reason, I would start him. But definitely sit Daniel Jones.
Look, Daniel Jones, I'm telling you right now, I've been waiting for this Raiders matchup. I think the Giants will win it. I think the Giants are going to have a good game. But Daniel Jones is a risky play. I'll say that. He's a risky play.
I've never heard somebody say, man, I've been waiting for my quarterback to play the Raiders.
I have been. I've been waiting.
Why? You want to leech on what the Raiders have already lost this season?
Look, when I look at the Giants' schedule, I look at it every year before the season starts, and I pick out games where I say, oh, I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to win this game. This is one of those games. They're going to win it.
Okay. Who are your stardom and sit-em for running back?
Running back, stardom, and sit-em. Well, my stardom for the week is Zach Moss from the Buffalo Bills. I like him a lot. I know week 1 of the season he was a healthy scratch and it scared a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people dropped him. But since then, he's actually been pretty good. I think he's the bona fide leader of the Bills backfield. I think Devin Singletary's kind of faded away into definitely a backup role. I think Zach Moss is going to have a terrific week. I would 100% start him. Like you said, they're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville doesn't have much good going on their defense or offense. They're a bad team, very bad. I like Zach Moss this week. My sit-em is Jeremy Mcnichols. I don't, like I told you about my stardom with Ryan Tannehill, I don't trust the Titans running game anymore without Derrick Henry. I would like to if you have Jeremy Mcnichols, leave him on your bench, see what happens this week. If he gets a lot of touches, looks good with the ball, you can be confident in starting him in the weeks ahead.
Very interesting. Now, when I look at running backs, I'm not going to want to sound like a fool, like, oh, yeah, Jonathan Taylor, but I'm a Colts fan, so I'm a start Jonathan Taylor every week kind of guy. But anyway, my stardom running back for this week, and I'm not too happy saying this because I'm not really the biggest fan of him, but I think if you have Najee Harris, you start him.
Why aren't you a big fan of him?
They're missing a lot in their front seven, and Big Ben looks terrible. So if you have Najee Harris, you start him. Big Ben's been dropping the ball off to him a lot. I really like Najee Harris this week. A running back that I'm going to sit this week, when I look at one, it's going to be James Conner.
Okay.
I don't think James Conner is going to give you much this week. I mean, he's going up against San Francisco. Their front seven has been playing very strong football this week. And when I look at him, he's been kind of a bust yardage-wise. I mean, he's found the end zone a lot, which has kind of inflated his numbers, but he has yet to go over 100 yards this season. So if you have James Conner, I'm sitting him this week.
Okay.
All right. So my stardom's an interesting one because he might not even be in a lot of leagues, but my stardom for the week is Myles Gaskin.
Okay.
Myles Gaskin is going against Houston's defense, which is not good. I don't trust Tua passing the ball at all. So I think Gaskin's going to get a ton of carries. Now, I could be wrong because Gaskin's had games this year where he's only gotten 3-5 carries and hasn't done much. He hasn't even scored a touchdown this year. But I think he's going to have a little bit of a breakout game. Plus, he's a pretty good receiving back. So, if Tua needs to get into a rhythm, they can just dump it off to him. So look for Gaskin to have a big week. I think this is going to be his time to shine. He's finally going to have a decent game. The running back I would not play, which is hard. The one I originally wanted to say as a buy. And first of all, that's Antonio Gibson. Dude was projected top 10, top 15 overall. He's been awful. He has not had a single even good week, I would say. Like, if I don't see how Gibson is in anyone's starting lineup at this point. But the running back I'm going to sit, and that's if he plays because he is questionable, is James Robinson. I like James Robinson. And, he gets a lot of carries. He gets yards. I like him. He's a good player. But him playing the defense they're playing this week, I don't see him being that guy. Again, he's listed as questionable. Maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. He got hurt in the fourth quarter last week, and up until then, he wasn't really doing much in the game anyway. But Buffalo's run defense, just their defense in general, is very good. I don't see him getting a lot of, holes to run through. If he does get some drop-off passes, I don't see him really being able to break them. So I would probably sit James Robinson this week if healthy.
All right. That's good. That's some good ones. Moving on to receiver.
That would be correct.
All right. So I'll tell you right now, this is going to shock you. My stardom for wide receiver this week is Tajay Sharp from the Atlanta Falcons. I think he's going to have a big day because you said Matt Ryan, they're playing the Saints. Calvin Ridley's gone. Cordero Patterson's been a solid running back, but Tajay Sharp's looking like he could be the new number one receiver in Atlanta. I think Matt Ryan's going to have to force the ball to him a lot. I think he has a pretty solid game in the probably about 15 to 18 points, I'm going to say.
Gage, can I interrupt you for a second?
What?
So I'm playing you in fantasy this week.
Yes.
You're telling people to start Tajay Sharp.
Yes.
You have him on your bench.
I'm going to start him though. I haven't put him in my lineup yet.
Okay, I'm checking.
I know. Look, right now I have Jerry Jeudy and Christian Kirk in there, and I've been debating Tajay Sharp or those guys. I am starting Tajay Sharp 100%. So
Okay.
yes, you should all start him. I'm telling you right now, he's going to have a good day. Now, my sit-em for the week. It's kind of obvious. I don't even know if he's going to play, but it's DeAndre Hopkins. Even if he plays, I'm sitting him. I am afraid of DeAndre Hopkins this week. He's been having a lingering issue, lingering injury. I'm really afraid. Even if he plays, I'm sitting him, but he's 100% sit this week.
Very interesting.
I'm starting Tajay Sharp. That is a fact.
My stardom this week for wide receiver, to me, is going to be Jamar Chase. When I look at Jamar Chase, I see him playing in a rivalry game, against Cleveland. I mean, him and Joe Burrow have that chemistry. Jamar Chase has boomed 5 out of the 8 weeks. The man's averaging over 20 points. If you have Jamar Chase, you start him, and I will be starting Jamar Chase this week. And I traded for him, and I couldn't be more happy with the production I've gotten out of him. I traded Kenny Golladay for him, and I couldn't be more happy.
That is a good trade.
Okay, you said Kenny Golladay was a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL before.
He's been hurt.
Okay, my sit-em this week is going to be DJ Moore.
Okay.
For some
Oh,
odd
pick one.
reason, Sam Darnold has not been getting the ball to DJ Moore, and it has really hurt the entire complexion of his game and the entire complexion of the Panthers. DJ Moore is coming off a couple rough games, so if you have DJ Moore, you should sit him.
I like that analysis.
All righty. So my stardom for the week, I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders. So, again, Emmanuel Sanders has been pretty good for like a guy that's almost forgotten. Last week, he was really bad. Weeks prior, he was very good. They're playing the Jaguars. Their defense is not good. I like Emmanuel Sanders in this game. I think he'll get a touchdown. He'll get some nice receptions. He'll pad up his stats. Now, my sit-em for the week. Willie took my first one, DJ Moore. But I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson on this.
Ooh.
Justin Jefferson didn't have a great game last week. He's playing against Baltimore's defense, which is pretty dang good. I don't know. I wouldn't feel very confident this week. I like Baltimore's defense. Their secondary is pretty good. I think they're going to get to Jefferson. And really, they're going to rush Kirk Cousins, which is not going to give – if he doesn't have a lot of time in the pocket, he's not making good throws. Which means he'll dump it off to Dalvin Cook or Madison or Thielen, who normally doesn't go, very deep. So Justin Jefferson is one I would probably sit this week.
Funny you should say about Justin Jefferson. Yeah, to say he had a pretty bad week. He had an awful week last week. Absolutely miserable. He actually cost me a game last week in fantasy.
He cost me a game last week too.
Yeah, so he was bad.
That makes 3 of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dalvin Cook cost me a game last week too.
Yeah, the I don't know what was wrong with the Vikings. They let a backup Cooper Rush beat them. Come on. Anyway, we'll move on to the tight ends. Is that where we're at? Tight end?
No, we're on loose end.
Haha. Tight end. All right.
Ooh.
My stardom for tight end this week is Pat Freiermuth.
Oh, you took mine.
I really, really, really like Pat Freiermuth. He is, you know what? I say if I'm the Steelers, just Eric Ebron, don't even bother. He is by far, he has to be the backup. I mean, he's not even close to as good as Pat Freiermuth, in my opinion. Pat Freiermuth's touchdown last week was so amazing. I think he is going to have a great day. Double-digit points, over 10. I think he'll have over 10 fantasy points. I think he's going to get 7 targets at least from Ben. I think Ben likes him. So he's my stardom. My sit-em at tight end this week will shock you. It is Travis Kelce. Again, I like Green Bay's defense. I think Travis Kelce gets locked down just like the Giants locked him down. He's going to have a bad week. Sit Travis Kelce. Can you believe it?
I like it. I liked your theme also for who you like at tight end for stardom. I'm going to follow in your footsteps a little bit. I'm not going to go Pat Freiermuth, but I'm going to look at another former Penn State tight end. My stardom for the week is Mike Gesicki.
Okay.
Mike Gesicki is playing the Texans. He's currently ranked the number 4 tight end in fantasy. He's had great games against terrible teams with bad defenses like Jacksonville, Atlanta, and even the Raiders, if you want to throw them in there. I think Mike Gesicki has a big game. If you want to ask me about a tight end you should not start, if you want to sit him, it is going to be Tyler Conklin.
Okay.
You better stay away from Tyler Conklin. Playing Baltimore, he's not going to have a good game. That's my guarantee of the week. Tyler Conklin has a bad game. Under 9 points this week.
Wow. I would consider 9 points good, but yeah, if he has less, that's really bad. What do you think, Luke?
Well, both of you took my 2 stardoms for tight end.
Oh.
But my third guy I'm going to go with starting is Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
Dalton Schultz has been very good.
What's up last week? He fucking cost me a game.
Yeah, he wasn't great last week. But I like Dalton Schultz. Dak should be back healthy. Dak loves throwing to Dalton Schultz. Apparently, Cooper Rush does not. I think with Dak back, Dalton Schultz is a very safe pick. My sit-em for the week is kind of a 2-man sit-em, and it's because they're on the same team. And that's the Patriots tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I say sit them because you never know which one is going to have a good game. It's never both of them. Sometimes it's neither of them. It might be one of them. But it's a very risky pick starting one of them. Because if one has a decent game, the other one is going to have an awful game because they will get no targets. So I would say stay away from Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith just because it's very risky with those two.
I definitely agree there. Defense time. I love.
Well, let's
defense,
talk about
man.
a flex.
Oh, flex.
We can look at somebody you wanted to mention, but you didn't have the option to.
On a flex.
Yep.
All right. Well. All right. Let's do. So stardom for the week that you can put at your flex. My start of the week for the flex position. Oh, let's see. It's a tough one. I'm thinking it's going to be Devontae Booker from the New York Giants. I think he's going to be great this week. Start him with confidence. Barkley's out this week. Booker has actually been pretty good. If you look at him in fantasy, he's been pretty good for the Giants. So start him with confidence at your flex. Definitely. Are we doing a sit-em there or no?
Yeah, you can do a sit-em if you want to.
Okay, my sit of the entire week. An absolute sit. Sit this man. Devontae Smith of the Eagles. Sit him absolutely, because he had a couple good weeks, but I don't know. The Eagles don't impress me at all. So sit Devontae Smith.
Nice. I like it. So my flex start of the week, I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry. I think Jarvis Landry is going to have a good game. He's playing in Chicago. And after that miserable game last week against Pittsburgh, the Browns should be ashamed of themselves. Should have won that game. But they didn't. They should be pissed off. You are playing Chicago, and I think Jarvis Landry has a hell of a game. He's now their bona fide number one after the whole Odell incident. And my sit of the week is going to be Melvin Gordon. If you have Melvin Gordon, I don't think you should sit him, because the only way I think Denver has a chance to win this game is if they get into a shootout, which is going to be less carries, and he's already splitting carries. So I think starting Melvin Gordon any week is kind of risky, but definitely sit him this week.
That's a good, yeah, I agree. Who you got, Luke?
My stardom this week is a guy that you guys were talking about earlier, but you were talking as a sit him. I disagree. My stardom is Mr. Jeremy Mcnichols.
Oh, boy.
And I think, again, it is. It's a little bit of a risk, but normally that's kind of what your flex is. And I think he could have a very big game if used correctly. He is now going to be the bell cow of that offense. I think he's going to get some carries. I think he's going to get some targets in the pass game. I think they're going to use him near the red zone. He's a bigger guy. I like what he has to bring. I would say start him and see what happens.
Okay.
My sit him for the week is Darnell Mooney from the Bears. Darnell Mooney, people said was going to be really good. He hasn't been very good. And I don't really like Justin Fields. Pittsburgh's defense is very good at getting to the quarterback. And I think, if anything, Justin Fields has a good day by running, not passing. So I don't see any Bears receivers even being worth taking. I definitely would not play Darnell Mooney, because I think, if anything, Fields just runs a lot.
Yeah. And Fields, I don't trust the Bears offense in the slightest. Not any part of it, nothing. I want nothing to do with anything about the Bears.
I agree.
So what are we at now? Defense? I love defense. Can I talk about defense?
Go for it.
My stardom unit of the week for defense is the Rams. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see the Rams with Von Miller and Aaron Donald. Can you believe that that's even real? It's crazy. They are going to have a great day. I think they get to the quarterback a lot. They're going to rack up the sacks. That's a point apiece, so count them up. I'm thinking 5, 6 sacks. There's 6 points for you, 5 or 6 points. That'll be the best defensive unit this week. Start them with confidence. As for the sit-em on defense, I say you sit. For defense, you are going to want to sit the 49ers defense this week, because their secondary is banged up and it is going to get shredded. So sit the 49ers. Bye-bye.
I like that. My stardom defense of the week is the Buffalo Bills. They're already the number one defense, and you're playing Jacksonville, who I think is struggling. I don't think much more needs to be said there. My sit-em defense of the week is going to be Kansas City.
Yes.
Kansas City has struggled a lot. And when you look at what the Packers are bringing to the table, he's kind of You don't know what you're going to get. You could get a lot out of him, or they could ground and pound with Aaron Jones, who is an honorable mention for stardom. But I'm starting Buffalo. I'm sitting Kansas City.
That's good picks.
All right. I'm going to go defense. I think it's an easy one for stardom, and I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think the Bears offense is just really bad. Like, Fields hasn't really found a groove. David Montgomery's probably not going to play. Their wideouts haven't done much. There's not a lot to like about the Bears offense, to be honest with you. The one bright spot might be Khalil Herbert's been decent, but he's going against an amazing run defense. So I don't see the Bears scoring a lot at all. My sit-em for the week is going to be from the same exact state, but we're going to go with the Eagles defense. They're going in against the Chargers offense, which is pretty high-powered. Eckler's healthy. They have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Herbert's playing pretty well. I don't think there's a lot to like about that. So I'm going to go start with the Steelers defense and sit the Eagles defense.
Yeah, I like them picks. Good ones. Do we even want to do kicker, Will?
I think you're getting the consistently, unless the kicker goes off, you're getting
Which is pretty random.
You're getting right around that 6 to 9 points out of a kicker each week.
I would say sit Chris Boswell because he might still be concussed.
Yeah. So, like, with kicker, whoever you got, just stick with them. Kickers are really random.
Unless you have Brandon McManus, I think he's kind of trash.
Huh.
He's the Martin Maldonado of the NFL with kickers. A lot of people think he's really good, but since he plays in Denver, he's kind of aided there. Martin Maldonado is fucking trash. He's so bad.
Yeah, he's really bad.
Brandon McManus, I think he's so bad.
Oh, man.
But as that moves us away from fantasy football, which I think we all enjoy a lot.
Yes, we do. I love it.
We can move into NFL predictions. Pigskin pick'ems for week 9.
I love pick'ems.
Did Thursday night's game shock you at all?
No, not in the slightest. I love Carson Wentz. I love Michael Pittman Jr. They both did good. The Colts are a good team with a bad record. It's really weird. They should not be at the record they're at because they are a lot better. Wentz took a little bit, I think, to get acclimated to the new offense, new system and all that. But I think he is ready to go. And, you all know I had him as league MVP this year. It might still be possible. I'm waiting to see.
It's not.
I love Carson Wentz. Oh, man. What'd you think of the game, Will? You Colts fan?
I was very happy with it, except for what Josh Johnson did in garbage time. I'm not really. Unless I started the Colts defense this week in fantasy football, that's 0 points out of it. It's kind of sucks. But when I think about it, I sit here and I think Carson Wentz showed me a lot. I mean, he's good at beating bad teams, so that's always a bonus. I look at Jonathan Taylor. He's kind of my big takeaway. Jonathan Taylor, to me, he's just the game changer. I'm happy Mike White went down, not because of injury-wise, but because of play-wise. Because with how well Mike White is, they probably would have scored 100 points with that guy. That guy's the best quarterback in the NFL. Holy cow.
Well, okay. That's a little ridiculous.
That's a joke. But if you've seen all the memes, you know what I'm talking about.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, what'd you think of the game, Luke? Quick.
Just kind of, what I expected. I was kind of shocked the Jets put up 30 points on the Colts.
That's sad.
With a third stringer.
That's all right. I take that back. That's pathetic.
But Jonathan Taylor's the real deal. He's one of the best backs in the league. Carson Wentz is playing pretty well. Yeah, kind of what I thought.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get started with the pick'ems if that's okay. I'll start with this Cleveland-Cincinnati game. Is there much better than an AFC rivalry like the Bengals and the Browns? Man, I think the Browns are going to lose. They're going to lose big time because the Bengals are angry. You mentioned, Will, how the Browns are angry. The Bengals are the angriest team in the NFL after last week. So they're going to come out with a vengeance. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the squad is coming out, and they are going to rain hell on Cleveland's defense. I like the Bengals winning this 35-14.
I like that a lot. I think the Bengals win this game. Not at that kind of level. I just think, like I said last week, when you get these AFC North games, you have close games that are low scoring. I think the Bengals win 17-14.
Do you agree the Bengals are coming out with a vengeance? Last week was.
Oh, they're pissed off. I said they were going to blow out the Jets, and they didn't, obviously.
Yeah, like that is soul crushing what happened last week. You agree, Luke?
Yeah. The Browns are a mess. Yeah. I think the Bengals win 24-10.
There you go. Denver, Dallas. Well, as much as I hate the Cowboys, they're going to just destroy Denver. Unless Cooper Rush plays again, then I can see Denver maybe winning. But Teddy Bridgewater scares the crap out of me because he's very inconsistent. And Trevon Diggs is good at getting picks. You know that. I think Dallas Cowboys win it. They're going to put up 42, and Denver's only going to put up 21.
Oh, man. I look at this game, and I think this game is going to be my lock of the week.
Oh, man.
So I think Dallas blows out Denver. I said last week, and I stand by it. The Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the NFL. I full-heartedly believe that. The Dallas Cowboys win this game 28-10. And that Dallas defense with Trevon Diggs gets another interception. It's going to be a beautiful day if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
That's my
lock of the week.
You know how ridiculous that sounded, calling Dallas the best team in the NFL?
Hey, you can think that, but I mean, I know they're a lot better than the Giants.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, when Dallas gets to the playoffs and has to play Green Bay, St. Louis, Arizona.
Who is St. Louis?
They ain't playing the damn Cardinals, buddy.
Arizona, sorry, I got it mixed up with baseball. Yeah, Arizona.
Your point's been blown out of the water, buddy. You can't even talk now.
Look, hey, I got my baseball and football mixed up. Listen, they are not going to stand a prayer against any of those teams I named.
You can think what you want, but you're just wrong. Listen, if the Cowboys lose in the playoffs, you can hold it against me. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, that's so disgusting. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I really like the Cowboys. I also agree that they're the best team in football when healthy.
Oh my god.
They're just insanely talented offensively, and defensively they've been pretty good. Micah Parsons is a big help. Thank you to the Giants for trading your pick to them. It was very smart. Yeah, this one's not gonna be close. I'm going 34-13 Cowboys, and that's about it.
I just don't get how you guys think this. Like Dallas, yeah, they have a talented offense, but the Buccaneers offense is better. And
Yeah, but their defense is definitely not.
I think oh my god, dude, the Buccaneers we'll see when we get there. But I think if somehow Dallas plays the Buccaneers, they will get absolutely destroyed in the playoffs. Destroyed, absolutely destroyed. That's what they do. And don't even look. If Dallas has to play the Packers, yeah, that no. If Aaron Rodgers gets his hands on Dallas again, it's going to end the same way it always does, with Aaron Rodgers
not
on
this
top.
time, because remember, not the last time, but the time before that, Dallas should have won, but because Dez caught it.
No.
The NFL came out and said Dez caught it 3 years later. Well, we're not getting into that. We got NFL predictions to make.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll move on here. What do we got? Houston, Miami.
Yeah, what a game.
What a bad game. I'm picking Miami. Actually, no. Is Tyrod Taylor playing? Anyone know?
Yes.
I'm picking Houston. I think they win 14-10. I think Brandon Cooks has a good game because I like Tyrod Taylor. I think he's an underrated guy. Yeah, they're going to win it. The Miami Dolphins are bad.
You know, when Tyrod Taylor went down, there was a lot of people circulating, the whole when he went to Cleveland, he got injured. Cleveland supposedly found the franchise quarterback. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield guy, but then he goes to the Chargers. He gets the doctors destroy his whatever. They puncture his lung. I mean, I don't know how that happens. That's negligent. But
yeah,
Justin Herbert emerges. They said the same thing was going to happen in Houston, and they couldn't have been more wrong. Davis Mills does not belong on an NFL roster. He is so bad. He is the Martin Maldonado of quarterbacks.
Oh,
so bad. No, actually, that's Baker Mayfield, the guy that everybody says is decent, but I don't really see it. He doesn't really give you much. But that's besides the point. I think Houston wins this game 17-13, and Miami just struggles with Tua. He's just not a good quarterback.
okay. Luke, you thinking the same thing?
Yeah. I think Tyrod Taylor helps them tremendously. I'm not big at all on the Dolphins. I think they really stink. Yeah, I like the Texans going forward in this game. Brandon Cook's gonna have a heck of a game because he finally has a quarterback throw him the ball.
Yeah.
I got the Texans winning 27-13.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So, Atlanta, New Orleans. I love a good NFC South rivalry. And I think the Saints have one of the best defenses in football, so they're going to win this game. Matt Ryan and Tajay Sharp are going to do their thing. But other than that, it's going to be a New Orleans type of game, and they're going to win it. Probably, I'm going to say 24-17.
I like it. But I think with the way Atlanta is looking, you lose Calvin Ridley, and you still got Pitts and Cordero Patterson. I just don't think that's enough. I look at Atlanta. I think they score 12 points. And I think the New Orleans Saints with Trevor Siemian leading the way. I've always been pretty high on Trevor Siemian. I never really thought he got really that much of a great chance. And I think he goes off. He's going to score 35 points. Sunday.
Whoa. That's a bold prediction.
That's just a fact. So New Orleans this game big.
I don't like Trevor Siemian at all. I don't think he's good. Luke, what do you think? Trevor Siemian does good this week or no?
Yeah, I really want to pick the Falcons in this game. I really do, but I just can't. Saints defense is really good. I think Simeon's okay. I think he'll do enough to get by for right now. Going forward, playoffs, no, I don't think that. But as of right now, I think he's fine. So I'm gonna have the Saints winning this one 20-13. Their defense is really gonna do enough to carry them. They might even get a pick six. I don't know.
I can see a pick six for sure. Next game, Giants Raiders. That'll be a good one. A lot of people probably are counting the Giants out of this, but I think they're going to win it. And I think they're going to win it not big, but they're going to win it enough. Just enough, actually. It's going to be a Graham Gano deciding game, 20-17. Like I said, I think Booker's going to have a big day. It's not my guarantee of the week, but I still think New York wins it. My guarantee of the week will be a different game.
Very interesting. I think the Giants won this game 16-10.
Whoa.
They win by 2 field goals. I think the Giants just have enough to outlast the Raiders. The Raiders are kind of depleted. They don't got much going for them. I think the Giants win this game 16-10.
And the Raiders are demoralized.
Yes, they are.
What do you think, Luke? Giants win it?
I think the Raiders have a lot to prove this week. Is that going to result in a victory? Probably not. But I got to go Giants 20-17. The Raiders are going to give themselves an effort, but I just don't think – I think there's more in their mind than football right now, and I think it's going to hold them back a little bit. So I have the Giants winning this one 20-17.
Yeah, I agree because, you're right. They're just – the amount of stuff this team's went through this year, man, I don't know how they're still going. What do we got? New England, Carolina. This is an easy one. I almost want to make this my guarantee, but I'm not. New England is definitely winning this game. I think New England is a very good team. I like Mac Jones. I think he's the best quarterback in his class so far that I've seen from all the rookie quarterbacks. I think they're going to win it handily. 27-17. I don't like the Panthers. I knew they were frauds. I knew it. And I was right. Go New England.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to. When I look at Carolina, I see a team with a quarterback who is dependent upon a playmaker. He can't make the big time plays that other quarterbacks can. And when I look at New England, that defense is filled with dogs, and you have Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. New England wins this game by 7. So I'm going to go 7-14. New England's going to win. And Sam Darnold doesn't do much. He's struggling right now, but once he gets a playmaker, it's going to turn things around.
What about McCaffrey? You think him coming back will help?
Yeah, he's 3-0 with McCaffrey.
So you think that you never know, man. McCaffrey's a game changer.
Yeah, yes, he is. That's why I said he needs a playmaker, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think that I think Sam Darnold is a decent quarterback. He's a lot better than Daniel Jones. Trust me on that. But
That's ridiculous.
Struggling right now, and he's just going to have a better career. Just need him to.
That is, dude, you have made calling Dallas the best team in the NFL and calling Sam Darnold better than Daniel Jones. They're some of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
You can think that, but I just know it's true.
Luke, what do you think about New England, Carolina? Who do you got?
This one will be my lock of the week. I think Carolina is awful. It's really upsetting. DJ Moore's not getting the ball his way more. Sam Darnold's looked really bad. New England's defense is really good. I think their offense is starting to figure things out a little bit with Mac. So I got this the lock of the week. I'm going New England 27-10.
There you go. Lock of the week. You heard it here first. That's a good one. All right, Buffalo, Jacksonville. I would make this my lock, my guarantee of the week, but it's too obvious, so I'm not going to. Buffalo is going to absolutely just obliterate this team because that's what good teams do. Here is another example. Buffalo is so much better than Dallas. It's not even funny. I cannot believe you both said Dallas is the best team in the NFL. Buffalo's defense is way better than Dallas's defense. Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Stephon Diggs is better than both the Cowboys receivers combined. So I don't know how you can say it. Buffalo is going to destroy Jacksonville because that's what good teams do. They beat these bad teams. It's going to be 35-7 Buffalo.
Interesting. There's not much more I can say. There's not much more I can say there just because Buffalo, just a superior team. They have probably the best offense in football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best defense in football.
There's not much more I can say on that front.
Jacksonville
is just struggling.
It's the best offense and the best defense. Enough said. They're the best team in football.
That is correct.
Well, you said Dallas.
No. I was disagreeing with you.
Oh,
Dallas is the best team in football. That's just a fact. But
who?
What do you mean who?
You said Dallas is the best team in football.
That's correct, yeah.
Buffalo is the best team in football.
No, it's Dallas.
No, Buffalo has the best offense and the best defense. How are they not the best team in football?
Buffalo doesn't have the best defense in football.
Yes, they do. They definitely do.
No.
Yes, they do. I challenge you to name one better.
Rams.
That Rams defense is pretty damn good.
Maybe, but I still would take Buffalo. What do you think, Luke? Do you think Jacksonville stands a chance?
Nope. 37-3 Buffalo.
Yeah, this is just not even fair. Minnesota, Baltimore. This I think this will be a good game. This will be one of the best games, I think, because Minnesota can't be happy with their performance last week, so they gotta do a little better. I know Coach Zimmer, he's a good coach, so he's gonna have his guys ready. I think Baltimore is still gonna win it though, because Lamar Jackson is a heck of a guy and a heck of a quarterback. I love him. They're still going to win it 24-21. But the Minnesota Vikings will put up a fight. That I can promise.
I'll just say one thing. It's a good thing for Minnesota that this game is at 1 o'clock because Kirk Cousins can't win a game in prime time. So, with that being said, Dalvin Cook has a monster game. Jefferson gets involved. Thielen gets involved. And Minnesota wins this game in a shootout. 38-34.
Wow, that is quite the prediction. I like that. That's interesting. Do you agree, Luke? Do you think Minnesota can do it?
Do I think they can? Sure. Do I think they will? No. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it is going to be a shootout. However, Baltimore's got a bad man in that kicker, Justin Tucker. And you know what? I think Mr. Tucker is going to drill himself about a 55-yarder to win the game. 31-28. Baltimore.
You say this every week, and it hasn't happened.
Remember he kicked like a 60-yarder that one week and won them the game?
But that was before we started this. That's the issue.
Yeah, but I have a lot of confidence in him.
Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of confidence in the second greatest kicker of all time.
Yeah. You could argue he's number one, but yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Vinatieri has
Vinny's
4
great.
rings. That's I don't need to tell you anymore.
You're right.
Kickers' rings do not matter that much.
It does when he kicks the game-winning field goal in a Super Bowl.
Vinny's the GOAT. Chargers, Eagles. This is simple. This is going to be my shortest segment on this right here. Chargers win it. Enough said. And I don't even need to give you a score. They just win it.
I agree with you. The Chargers win this game. Herbert shows he's the better quarterback. Hurts is a goner in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is struggling. Chargers win 35-10.
All right. So,
Yeah,
Luke, what do you think?
I don't really have a lot to add.
Yeah.
The Eagles did play well last week, but they were playing basically a high school team, so don't know how much that really weighs a factor. I have the Chargers by about 17 points, 37-20.
There you go. That is – the Chargers are just the better team. It's simple. Now, on to Green Bay versus Kansas City. This is where my guarantee of the week. I guarantee Kansas City wins this game. And you guys are probably thinking, oh, Gage, you said sit Patrick Mahomes. You said sit Travis Kelce. How are they going to win? Well, I'll tell you how. They're going to win because Andy Reid can make it work when his stars are having issues. Darrell Williams will carry them. The Kansas City defense will make the rookie Jordan Love make mistakes, and the Kansas City Chiefs will win it. They're going to get back on track. They're going to make the playoffs. This is the start of that journey. They're going to win it 31. No. Sorry. That's way too high. It's going to be a low-scoring game, defensive game. They're going to win it 10-7, Kansas City.
You know, when you were talking earlier about, sitting Patrick Mahomes and sitting Travis Kelce, I was on board with you. And then when you just took 100% complete 180, you're the man famous for saying you can spot a fraud when you see one. And I've been looking for a fraud this season, and I've found one. Kansas City are frauds.
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes has been figured out. I don't know what is wrong with him. He has plenty of weapons. There's no excuses for how bad he has been playing. He's leading the NFL in interceptions. He's just not good. You can't say, well, he doesn't have a running back, Will. When has he ever really had a running back? So,
he hasn't.
As we say this, I say Green Bay wins this game by a score of 17-13.
Okay.
Kansas City are frauds.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I made that my guarantee of the week. Kansas City wins.
You can guarantee that all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that they're frauds.
Oh my man, that's a little harsh. They are two-time Super Bowl guys.
You badmouth Kansas City and their players for how long this podcast, and you said how great that Green Bay defense was.
It is.
Now look at you.
It is great. I said it would be a defensive game, but
you're inconsistent.
Man, Andy Reid is not happy. He is going to win this game, especially against a rookie quarterback.
Okay. You can think that, but you're just going to be wrong.
What do you think, Luke? You got the Chiefs this week?
I do not.
Oh.
I think it is going to be a bit of a defensive game, kind of a struggle. Mahomes will probably throw another pick. But at the end of the day, Aaron Jones, I like that guy. I think he's going to have a good running game. And we're going to go with the Packers 23-17.
Okay. The Packers is the safe pick, but I'm guaranteeing a Chiefs win, even though I said Mahomes sit him and Travis Kelce sit him. That, you don't need those guys to win. You don't need them. So
yeah, you're pretty good at guarantees.
Yeah,
I guarantee. San Francisco and Arizona, a good old NFC West rivalry. And I'm going to shock you guys here. San Francisco is going to win this game.
Holy shit.
Does that shock you?
You stole my prediction.
Did I really? Dude, I think they will. I really do, because I think Elijah Mitchell, if he plays, he is questionable, but I think he's a good running back. Deebo Samuel is having a heck of a year, breakout year. He's really good. I think they're just going to win this game because, these division rivalries in the NFC West are crazy. And Hopkins isn't going to play. I like San Francisco winning this game. Close game. It's going to be close. It's going to be 24-17. 49ers win it.
I agree with you. I think that every year in the NFC West, you always see at least one upset that's kind of confusing. Like whether it's when Seattle was on top, Arizona always seemed to upset them, or San Francisco always seemed to upset them. And this is the week that I think San Francisco gets a win. It's at San Francisco. I think San Francisco wins this game 23-20.
Okay. You agree, Luke? Are you joining us on the San Francisco train?
I am not. I think Arizona is going to have a bounce back week. They have a lot of weapons. San Francisco's. This game could go either way. This is really a toss-up. I'm just going to go with Arizona on this one, 23-20. I think it'll be a tight game either way. Arizona's got better talent. I think they're going to pull it out at the end.
That definitely a safe pick because they are the better team. There's no doubt. But like Will said, these NFC West games, man, they can go either way.
For sure.
Rams, Tennessee Titans. That is going to be fun. Sunday Night Football. I think the Rams have to win this game. Like they're going to win this game, definitely. That new defense. Sean McVay's sitting there thinking, like, man, wait till the world sees. Here's another team, the Rams, way better than the Cowboys. Defense is better, offense is better. Another team that's better than the Cowboys. The Bills and the Rams are better than the Cowboys. In fact, that's my Super Bowl prediction. So there you go. But yeah, the Rams are going to beat the Titans. I know I said start Ryan Tannehill. He was my stardom for the week at quarterback. My defensive stardom was the Rams. Kind of weird that I picked them, but they can both do good, The Rams can get a pick six and get a lot of points for fantasy, but Ryan Tannehill can still score 4 touchdowns and 400 yards. So anyway, I think the Rams win it 31-14. Going to be a big one. Sean McVay's ready to show them they are the Super Bowl winners of 2021.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. Losing Derrick Henry, they basically lost their entire offense. Now you're telling me that Ryan Tannehill is going to have to beat them with his arm. I like Ryan Tannehill, but I think that Tennessee's scheme was perfect for him. He was in a position where he didn't have to beat a team with his arm. So I think the Rams can put those boys Ramsey and whomever else back in coverage. The A.J. Brown's questionable. I'm not sure if Julio's playing or not.
I think he might play.
But I think the Rams blow out Tennessee this week. 31-13.
Yeah. Are you thinking the same, Luke? Rams are going to beat them pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am. I have 34-19 as my score prediction. I'd like to see Jeremy Mcnichols get in the end zone at least once, which I think he will. But I don't think they have enough weapons. Cooper Kupp's been going off, and he's not going to stop anytime soon.
No.
So good luck containing him. So yeah, I got the Rams by about 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So we have the Monday night game, Pittsburgh, Chicago. Wow, there might need to be less said than this game than any game of the week. This is ridiculous. I think Pittsburgh's going to destroy Chicago, like bad, probably by 3 touchdowns, because I don't think Chicago is going to be able to score. It's going to be a shutout, 21-0. Enough said.
You know, to me this week, there was a college football game on today with a team that predominantly runs the football. And I said that Najee Harris was going to get the ball a lot today or tomorrow, and I agree with that. Still, I think Pittsburgh's going to run the ball a lot on Monday night. Najee's going to have a field day. Like I said, if you have him, start him. And Pittsburgh's going to look a lot at what Navy did today. Navy lost the football game, but they played a good defense by college football standards. Notre Dame has a lot up front in their front 7. Chicago does not. Najee's a lot better running back than anything Navy will ever produce. So, like I'm just saying, Pittsburgh's going to run the ball down Chicago's throat. It's going to be a lower scoring game, but Najee's just going to have a monster game. It's going to be Pittsburgh 21, Chicago 3.
Ooh. Luke, you picking your team, your favorite team? You got them?
Yeah, I love the Bears. No, I'm just kidding. I agree. I think Najee's gonna have a big game. He's been playing much better. I'm gonna go 28-10. I just feel like somehow, some way, Justin Fields will get in the end zone once, but I also think he throws about 2 or 3 picks. Pittsburgh 28-10.
What a week of football.
You know, the games are a lot better this week than last week.
Yeah,
I agree. The Green Bay Kansas City game would have been so much better if Rodgers played, but I am excited to see Jordan Love.
That game would have been on Sunday night. Oh, goodness, that would have been a hell of a Sunday night game.
Definitely. All right, well, I guess that wraps it up. We'll see. Next week, we'll have some other topics, but yeah, that's a good wrap for the week, I say. What do you think?
I agree.
All right. See y'all next week.